So, hello and welcome back to another video, guys. Now, first off, before we get started with this video, I've been promising it's coming for a while. This is my Guy Richie movie ranking, so I'm taking all of his 3, 6, 9, 10 movies and ranking them from my least favourite to my favourite. Before we get on with that, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's been taking part in my contest, everyone who's just said all the nice, lovely things they've been saying, not just here on YouTube on the video that I posted and on the live stream that we had last night, but also in the Big Paulie Facebook chat, where I made a post about it, said, hey, here's my contest. I thought I'd just let people aware that it was happening, and I've got another load of comments come through from people saying congratulations and just all round lovely things. So it's been a really nice couple days. It really has, with the video itself, that and the live stream, everyone being so kind, and it doesn't go unnoticed. And I'm very grateful and very appreciative of it all. Everyone here is so lovely, and it's really nice to have this little fan group, or group of fans, I guess you'd call it. People who watch me, it's really nice. But a bit of self-promotion here. If you do want to see more, a link to my Patreon is in the description below, where you'll get more videos that are exclusive to the Patreon members. Also my podcast, there's a link to my podcast in the description below. And if that's my favourite thing that I'm doing at the minute. I love doing podcasts. And if you want to get more interactive with me about my podcast, there's a link to the Facebook page. Also, my Twitter and Instagram is linked into the description if you want to come and talk to me over there. I do movie polls on my Instagram sometimes, and I mostly just post about movies on Twitter as well. But without all that said, there's links to all that in the description. With all that said, and all these thank yous, I'd like to thank everyone individually, but that would be a very long video. Who's entered the contest. So massive thank you to everyone who's entered the contest, and an extra thank you to the people who have made videos. There is also a playlist on my channel. If you go to my channel home screen, you'll go across the playlist. You'll be able to see in the description, you'll be able to see a playlist of people who have entered this contest through videos on YouTube. So if you've made a video and it's not in the playlist, let me know. Right, so on to the actual ranking now. So Guy Richie has 10 films. I think I've counted that right. 6, 9, 10, yeah. I've watched them all. After I saw The Gentleman in cinema last year, I saw that one early, I believe. I decided I love this movie. I'm going to watch all of Guy Ritchie's movies. I'd already seen a handful, to be fair, but I decided to go watch them all. And I've done that, and I'm ranking them from worst to best. Guy Ritchie has become one of my absolutely favourite directors. I love his style when he's allowed to do it. It's fantastic. So anyway, my least favourite Guy Ritchie movie. This is the only film here that I think is bad. This is the only one I watched, couldn't get into. I didn't care what was happening, and about an hour into it, I started playing on my phone. That is Revolver. It's the only one that doesn't have a UK Blu-ray release as well, so you can almost tell that it either just didn't do very well here at all, or people genuinely didn't care about it. This movie isn't very good. I honestly can't even remember what the plot was. It's interesting seeing Mark Strong with hair, I know that much. Mark Strong, I remember being the standout character in this. Jason Statham is one of the most charismatic action actors going. I love him, but in this film, they somehow kind of make him boring. So yeah, I think Revolver is just a very boring and an incredibly forgettable movie. Next up, I suppose Guy Ritchie has 2 films now, which I think are kind of just okay. These films aren't bad, but I wouldn't rate them that well at all. First one up is Rock and Roller. Pretty sure that's meant to be said as one word, or Rock and Roller. I'm not really sure. I think it's meant to be one word. So this one is starring Gerard Butler. I think this is the only Gerard Butler film I have in my collection, thinking about it. I don't really like Gerard Butler much, but I kept this one because it's Guy Ritchie. Tom Wilkinson's in this as well. Thandie Newton, who's a fantastic actress. This film's okay, I guess. I don't really know who my favourite characters are in this one. I guess I kind of like Thandie Newton's character. She's kind of playing both sides in this film a bit. Yeah, it's interesting. I think this is Guy Ritchie trying to recapture Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels and Snatch, of course. And it just doesn't work as well. I don't know what it is. This film just doesn't capture it very well. The pacing isn't as great. The story just isn't there for me. It's kind of an average film. I don't have much to say on it. It's a bit forgettable, but it's okay. It's not bad. Next up, I think this is the film that everyone expected to be at the bottom. This is a very well disliked movie. And I went into it with an open mind, and you know what? I actually thought it was okay. Just okay. I didn't think it was much more than that, but it was a decent watch. King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. So this is, I remember when this film came out, everyone's slating it, and everyone just pretty much talking about that David Beckham scene. And yes, the David Beckham scene is hilariously bad. David Beckham is terrible in this movie. But I found the scope of this film great. The action scenes were amazing. The choreography was great. Charlie Hunnam does a great job in this movie. He does a really good job in everything I see him in. It's a shame he isn't in more. I think he's a bit tied up with Sons of Anarchy. Jude Law's in it. He's actually one of the weaker parts of this film. I didn't think he was great in it. But yeah, this is a really, really interesting film. The story is very whack. It throws you from A to B a lot. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in it. There are some things in the plot which happen that pull you out where you go, that seemed like it was too much. That was a bit silly. But in between all that, there is some good action sequences. And the characters are all pretty fun. And it feels like a real war going on. So I didn't mind this film. I thought it was okay. Okay, next up, we're on to good films now, is the sequel to Sherlock Holmes, and that's Sherlock Holmes, Game of Shadows. I guess I don't really have much to say on the two Sherlock films, because they both kind of feel exactly the same to me. They're both good. Jude Law is much better in this. This is probably my favourite performance I've seen Jude Law give in a big Hollywood movie. Because unfortunately, every time he gets a big role, he never really does much for me. Like in King Arthur, like in Captain Marvel, like in Fantastic Beasts, he never really does anything that interesting. He is good as Watson, though. He's good. Robert Downey Jr. is great as Sherlock. I feel like people always undermine his portrayal of Sherlock because these films all coming out at the same time as the BBC Sherlock TV series starring Benedict Cumberbatch. So I feel like people forget about Robert Downey's Sherlock, which is a shame because I think he is great as Sherlock. This film picks up the story pretty well. Of course, it has Sherlock's brother in. They try and go for a bigger scope in this one. The only issue I have is they kill off the lead female character from the first one almost instantly, off screen as well. I'm guessing that's because they couldn't get the actress back, which is a shame. But either way, it's a good film. I enjoy this one. And coming in just before it is the first Sherlock movie. So this one's pretty cool. It's, the villain in this one is Moriarty. Mark Strong plays Moriarty. I really like Mark Strong in this film. He plays a really good villain. I just don't know if he should have been Moriarty. I think they maybe just should have said he's another villain. Mark Strong doesn't scream Moriarty to me, but he was good in it. You just gotta, the way I try to imagine it is that he's not playing Moriarty. But this film's a lot more fun. I think it's slightly better than the first one. I really do enjoy this film. I think it's really clever. The pacing is great. There's some really cool, clever camera tricks in this one. Yeah, overall I think this is a good movie. Okay, so what were you, top 5? Yeah, top 5. So here we go. Coming in 5th place is Aladdin. Yeah, I know a lot of people hate this movie. I think this is going to be my my slightly obscure pick for most people. Controversial pick, we'll say that. I think people either see this film for what it is and they go, it's okay, it's a kid's film. Some people like to pick it apart. They're like, the costumes are silly. All the characters look really clean. It's like, this is a kid's movie. Was Guy Richie the best pick to direct this? No, probably not. However, it's a fun movie. I love the songs in it. I acknowledge that it's for the ages of 5 to 15. It's a PG, for God's sake. I really like Will Smith's portrayal of the genie. I think it's fun. All the music's great. I like nearly everything about this film. I think it's really fun. I think whoever they picked to play Jafar was a bad choice. But all round, the casting was really good. I think it's a super fun movie. And I like Aladdin 2019 a lot. Coming in 4th place is the one that started it all. It is Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. This is, of course, the film which put Guy Richie on the map. It put him on the radar of just big film, the big film industry. They were like, hey, this is a good director. Let's get him to do some more films. You've got a great cast here. Of course, you've got Jason Statham, man in this film. But there's a lot of other great people in it. Sting makes an appearance, which I find really interesting. But this is just a really, really, really fun movie. I really like it. All the characters are good. They all blend together really well. The story is great. And it's a proper British gangster film, and I really like it. I think it's just a really fun time. Coming up next, in third place, is a film which I would absolutely adore a sequel to. But it doesn't look like we're getting it. But it is The Man from U.N.C.L.E. So The Man from U.N.C.L.E., of course, is based off a TV show. And Guy Richie was the perfect pick to do this film. And I really love it. The lead actors, Henry Cavill, Armie Hammer, Alicia... I can never pronounce her surname. I always get it wrong. Vikander, there we go. They're incredible in this film. Hugh Grant as well, making an appearance, is great in this movie. This movie is so good. I really want a sequel to it. These three characters bleed of charismatic, you know, they're just so charismatic to watch. By the end of the film, they're all so well immersed in the story that it's like, yes, they've finally all come together. Now let's see a sequel where they're together for the entire film. It's such a good film, and I would have loved a sequel to it. Okay, top two, here we go. So coming in second place for me is, of course, the one which really got me into Guy Richie, and that's The Gentleman. It's only come out this week on Blu-ray. It's a brand new film. I saw this in cinema and absolutely adored it. This was one of those films in the cinema where I was watching it and I just didn't want it to end. And when it ended, I was honestly upset. I was like, I could have kept watching that for another hour. I think all the characters are great. My favourite character in this is probably Charlie Hunnam's character. I think he's really good. Hugh Grant and Colin Farrell are incredible in this movie. Matthew McConaughey he just bleeds charismaticness. Everyone in this film is really good. I really like Eddie Marsan as well. It's all around just a really, really interesting film. You need to keep paying attention to this one. I showed it to my family Monday when I got it, and my sister kept fading in and out of the film. And by the end of the film, she wasn't enjoying it because she'd missed so much. So this is a film you really need to pay attention to. It's a really clever movie, and it's just a lot of fun. It's just a really good time. But number one, how can I not put this? This is the classic Guy Ritchie movie, Snatch. Snatch is just a great time. It is the perfect British gangster movie. Everyone in this film is great. I think the standout one, of course, is Brad Pitt playing the gypsy, which is incredible. A very memorable performance from Brad Pitt. You've got a long list of great actors also appearing in this film, with Jason Statham again. Benedict Del Toro's in this film. It's funny, they put his name first on the credits for this film, and he's barely in it, which shocks me, because Brad Pitt is definitely a bigger actor, so you would have thought that his name would have been top of the list. But anyway, this film is great. I love where it throws you about. The payoff at the end is so worth it in this movie. And this is just a really, really great movie. It really is. I think, in general, my top 3 Guy Ritchie movies, I think, are just damn near amazing. I love these 3 movies. You know what? Let's chuck Lock, Stock and Barrel. Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, sorry, in there as well. That's also a really good movie. And Aladdin's a lot of fun. So, there we go. There's my little Guy Ritchie movie ranking. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, as always. And once again, thank you to everyone who's taken part in the contest and all that stuff. Blah, 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 blah. It's been a pleasure, and it's great fun. But that is it for this video, guys. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Check out the links in the description below. And I'll see you all next time for another video. Bye-bye.